car video. This is a video on how to be the best waiter or waitress or server that you can possibly be and never get stressed out on the job. I was just thinking, I don't want to keep these thoughts to myself. I want to at least make a video about it because I have a YouTube video called Troy's Self-Help Journey. And this kind of is self-help. This is going to help people get better at their job. If you are a server, or if you're in food service or just service in general. I was thinking that being a server isn't actually a hard job. What are you actually doing? You're walking, getting food from the kitchen to the table, and you're taking people's orders. It is not like a hard job. There's a reason you don't need a college degree to be a server. I've been serving for the last year, a little bit over a year, I believe now. Like 5-ish days a week at a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, in the afternoons and evenings. And I want to share how to be the best server ever. And you can, if you think, I don't know, you can do better or you have other tidbits to add to this, go ahead and add it in the comments. But basically, being a server is not a hard job. The reason that people think that it's stressful is because you have to deal with people. You have to communicate with people. And you might get customers or guests who come in, sit at the table, and they're like, hey, I want this, this, and this. And then you bring them their food and they're like, thank you, the meal was delicious. Here you go, here's the money, keep the change. Have a good day. And it's very simple. They know what they want. They're not difficult and they're thankful and everything. And then you have customers that are on the other end of the spectrum who are extremely difficult. They ask for everything. They expect you to bring everything within like 5 to 10 seconds.
In 1 month.
Sorry about that interruption. So anyways, you have people on the other end of the spectrum where they expect you to bring them everything within 5 to 10 seconds. You know, run to the back of the restaurant. You bring them their thing that they desperately ask for. They want more butter for the bread, whatever. You rush back and forth for stuff to bring them stuff, and even sort of make them priority just because they're complaining, and then they still don't tip you that much because these people are just, they're just fucking delusional about what to expect when they come to a restaurant. They're sitting in a restaurant getting food served to them, and because they didn't get butter brought to them, it took the server 2 minutes because they had other tables instead of, you know, 30 seconds, or the person sitting at the front of the restaurant, it took you a couple extra minutes to come check their table because you just brought them their food and you let them eat a little bit first. And most people like to be left alone, and you didn't want to check on them right after you brought them their food, and they complained that you took too long and you were talking to your coworkers. Anyway, you have people like that. So there's all different kinds of people that you'll be dealing with, and that's why people say that it's difficult, because at the end of the day, they might feel kind of bad that this guest was upset with them, despite them doing everything they could to try to help the guest. And nobody's perfect, so as a server, you might make a mistake. You might make 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes on the job with that single table. You forget something, you didn't bring their food out fast enough because you left it in the window and their food was cold. I don't know. Stuff happens at work. So, but all in all, the job is not difficult. It's really not difficult. It's very simple. You walk the food to the people, you write down their order, you take it back to the chef, he makes it, you bring it out, you give them their bill. It's a very simple, straightforward job. And if you remember that, that can ease a lot of discomfort around the job. It can ease a lot of intimidation from having to deal with people. So in order to be the best server that you can, you have to shift away from people's emotions, and instead of making people's emotions priority, you have to make your job priority. You have to logically ask yourself at the end of the day, did I do my job properly? Did I bring food out to all the tables? Did I check on all the tables in a timely manner? Was there anything that I could have done better? If so, cool. What can I, write it down so you do it better next time, or remember it? If not, cool, you can rest easy. But I feel like a lot of people who say that serving is difficult or it's hectic or it's stressful are focusing on the wrong thing. And this is, by the way, from experience. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and that is, yeah, not nearly as long as some people have been serving, but it's like, it's enough to, I've immersed myself in the profession now. I have experienced it. You shift your attention away from, that person in the corner who's making the mean face because they didn't get their bread in the first 30 seconds of them sitting down. They actually got it in like 2 minutes because it was in the oven, or you had to see this other table about their drinks. When you shift away from people's emotions and you start focusing on like doing your actual job, it makes the job a lot simpler, And you're now judging yourself not on how people are feeling, because people are going to feel how they're going to feel. That's being human. People have emotions. So whether that table's sad and that table's mad, or that table's happy and joyful, that table's laughing hysterically, that table's just neutral, whatever, it doesn't matter what people are feeling. People are going to feel what they're going to feel. You have to logically ask yourself, did I do my job properly? So when people communicate to you, it's like, you can't just be like, oh no, they're mad, I'm stressed out. You have to be like, oh, they're mad, why are they mad? What can I do for them? And then if you do everything you can to help ease them, for example, that might just be like, this table ran out of butter and you have to go to the back and you have to make a judgment call of, well, I have a few other tables to check in with and I may need to refill their drinks as I'm going back and getting that table's butter, and that table might get their butter in 2 minutes instead of 20 seconds because he rushed to the back and got it for him. And that just has to be the case. And that table might be mad. They might be like, you should have sprinted to the back and got me my butter. And you just have to remember, that table's not the only table in the restaurant. I have to do my job. People, certain entitled customers or entitled guests will just be emotional. Emotional people will be emotional. You have to focus logically on if you're doing the job properly. So one thing that's helped me personally is, instead of, when I first started the job, I was like trying to people please. I was trying to do like everything I could for a certain table that was complaining. And I ended up kind of forgetting about other tables. I would run to the back and get this thing that, this table up front needed, and I'll pass the other tables. But now what I do is, I have my notepad with me, so I'll write down what each table needs if I need to, or if it's just a couple tables, I'll remember what they need up front. I'll check in with this table on the way back, and I'll check in with this table on the way back. And then, on a tray, I'll carry butter for this table, a refill for this table, and then whatever for that table, more bread for that table, more sauce for that table, whatever. And that helps to ensure yourself that you don't need to run to the back to get, like, you're in charge and you're in control. You know what you're doing more than they do when it comes to serving, because you're in that position. You're serving them. And yes, like, a lot of people follow that policy, the customer's always right. And I feel like that's a really good, I think that's a really good policy, because you're putting the customer first and they are paying you. They're paying the business that you're a part of now, that you're working for. And you want them to come back. You want them to pay money. They're a paying customer. At the same time, they're not the only paying customer in the building. And are you really doing your general serving abilities justice? Like, are you really being the best server possible by rushing to the back for this table instead of just like keeping your composure, taking notes, thinking logically, okay, what do I have, what tables do I have to visit, all in all, when I go to the back, and what do I need to bring out to everybody? So overall, just to recap, one thing that's helped me is staying calm and writing down everything that I need for a table, or all the tables, rather than just that one table that's complaining the most. Don't give them priority. Unless their complaint is really valid. Like, there are exceptions, like you forgot to give them their dish, or you forgot to ring it in and now it's coming out super late. Then you have to go to the back, you have to apologize, just take accountability, and you have to communicate. But all in all, just check in with what you need. And then the main thing of this video, the main concept of this video, is how to be a great server, and that's shifting away from people's emotions and logically doing your job and asking yourself, did I do my job properly? Did I take the food out to all the tables that I needed to at the right time when it came out in the window, in the correct order? Did I check in with each table while I was out there? Was I present for each of my tables? And did I fix any problems that had priority to be fixed? Did I fix all problems? And if so, if you did everything that you needed to, whether people are happy about it or whether they're sad about it, it doesn't matter. You did your job.